Hi guys, today we are going to talk about a very interesting book called The Shadow of the Wind by Ruiz Zafon, who is a Spanish author, novelist who passed away some time ago. I read this book many years ago, but I forgot absolutely what happened in it. So I was just looking through my shelves and found it. So then I bought a copy of it from the bookshop and I read it in around 5 to 6 days, and it was around 524 pages long. So I just loved this book like anything. It was long, but it was worth the read. It's basically about a boy called Daniel. His full name is Daniel Semper Gisbert. His mother has passed away a couple of years ago and he is 10 years old. His father tells him that one day he'll take him to the cemetery of forgotten books and that he is not supposed to tell anyone about where they went or what they did. So his father takes him to the cemetery of forgotten books where no one is supposed to go or know about, since it's their little secret, and he tells him that he can tell his mother and some close relations but not everyone. So he takes him to the cemetery of forgotten books, and he tells his son that he can only select one book out of all the books in the cemetery of forgotten books, and this novel is based on one cold morning in 1945 Barcelona, Spain. It's based in Spain actually. So he selects a book which is titled The Shadow of the Wind. So the little boy is really interested in this writer and eager to know more about him and about his works and about the literature and what he's been writing and what he did for a living and how he lived and where he lived. So he wants to find out more about the author and its works. But then he finds out that someone out there is trying to destroy or burn the works of this author and destroy them, and does not want anyone to read them, and he wants to figure out why. So what happens next is that his mother has passed away a couple of years ago and he is all alone with his father. A man finds out about this and approaches him and gives him a large sum of money in exchange for the book, but he refuses to give the book because he wants to know more about the author. And the author of this book is called Julian Carax. So that's what the story is about. So what happens next is that the the 10-year-old boy really wants to get to know more about the author and his works. He himself wants to become a novelist and a writer, and he owns a bookshop with his father where he sells books, and he is very much into books, fiction, and literature. So that's what happens in this book actually. So what happens next is that as he tries to find out more about the author, he finds out that the works have been destroyed and no one wants him to and there are only a few copies of the book remaining in the world. So he keeps on investigating and trying to find out more about the author, and he finds he has a best friend called Thomas. His full name is Thomas Aguilera, and they both get along very well together. So the whole novel revolves around the book The Shadow of the Wind. So what happens next is that as he tries to find out more about the author, he finds out that there are very few copies, there are hardly any copies of the books which remain in the bookstores these days, and all the books that he had are destroyed or burnt or confiscated by someone, and he goes to his home. The little boy, Daniel Semir Gisbert, goes to the author's house and finds out that there are hardly any copies of the book left, and that he comes across his typewriter. So this is what happens in the novel actually. And then he has a fight with his friend, and he abandons him, and he remembers his mother and how it would have been so great if his mother was still here with him to comfort him and do all that stuff for him. So this is how what the book is all about the book The Shadow of the Wind, and how about the cemetery of forgotten books, and about how Spain and about Barcelona and all that stuff. So this was a brilliant novel. It was really well written, and it sold many millions of copies, and it deserves that. I really enjoyed reading this novel, and the ending is quite abrupt actually, to tell you the truth. In the end he remembers his mother, and that's what happens in the book, guys. I love this book, and you should also go out there and buy this book, The Shadow of the Wind by ruiz Zafon. It was such a fat book, 524 pages, but still I managed to read it within 5 days or something like that. So it was just a lovely, very well written novel, and I just loved it, and I can't wait to read more works from this author. And I'm very sad that he passed away some time ago. Yeah, lovely novel it was though. Okay, bye guys.